question this way. We all believe in Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Hugh, start me off. What are the strongest scientific evidences you can present that support that verse?
Well, I could begin with two, which would be the reliability of general relativity to describe the dynamics of the universe and the space-time theorems of general relativity. The first of those space-time theorems was published in 1970. We now have nearly 30 of those space-time theorems that have generalized their application. But in a nutshell, what they say is that if the dynamics of the universe is reliably described by general relativity, and if the universe contains mass, then there must be this beginning of space-time, matter, and energy in finite time. And there's a corollary to the theorem which states that there must be a causal agent that exists beyond space and time that's responsible for bringing into existence this universe of matter, energy, space, and time. Now, this all depends on two things. Does the universe contain mass? And I don't know of any skeptic that denies that the universe contains mass. All you got to do is step on a bathroom scale. But the second one is not quite so trivial. Does the theory of general relativity reliably describe the dynamics of the universe? Well, when these theorems were first published, we could only prove that observationally to 1% precision. Today, we can prove it to more than 14 places of the decimal, to better than 1/1000% precision. And it is such today that the reliability of general relativity in describing the dynamics of the universe now ranks as the most experimentally tested and best proven principle in all of physics. Therefore, I have argued in several of my books that there really is no basis for doubting, based on just the astronomy alone, that this causal agent beyond space and time must exist. And theologically, the important thing about that is that the Bible is really the only holy book that teaches that doctrine of creation. Other holy books talk about how God creates within space and time, but it's the Bible that teaches this doctrine that God creates independent or outside of space and time.
Okay, Jason, in terms of, do you agree with this or do you disagree with these measurements? Are these measurements wrong?
Well, I wouldn't use the Big Bang as an evidence for God creating, certainly not. I mean, that's, after all, a secular alternative to the Bible, really. I mean, most of my professors, I didn't see them in church on Sunday. Most of them were secular astronomers, and they believed in the Big Bang.
But again, my doctor doesn't go to church either, and the fact is I still let him do surgery on me, I let him do, dentistry and so on. The fact is, are people that are non-Christians, are they not allowed to look at evidence?
Well, they can look at evidence, and in fact, they really, in order to do science, they have to borrow some Christian principles anyway, I would say. They have to assume that the universe is logical.
But if they're able to do that in medicine and other disciplines, why can't they do it in astronomy?
Oh, well, they can do it in astronomy. But the thing is, when we talk about the Big Bang, we're not talking about observational science, are we? We're not talking about something that we can observe in the present. We can't make a universe in a laboratory and see what happens when it expands and so on.
We can observe it, Jason.
Well, no, we can't observe it. We can't observe the Big Bang. I mean, I understand what you're saying about looking, out into space, and a lot of astronomers would say, well, aren't you looking back into time? But the thing is, even if we were to buy into that, you're looking into the past, you're looking at the past over there, and not the past here anyway. The point is, you're only looking at one point in time. You don't have a history by looking out into space. You don't have a complete history, and that's one of the limitations of observational science.
Well, here's how you do have a complete history. I mean, you made the point that we can look at different epochs in time, but we can also test whether or not the universe is homogeneous and uniform, whether the laws of physics are constant over that entire period of time. And we observe that, which means we really do have a trustworthy history of everything from, say, 380,000 years after the creation event right up to the present moment, 13.7 billion years later.
Well, I would say that there are a lot of hidden assumptions, and you have to be very careful about that. One of the assumptions, for example, of the Big Bang is that the universe is sort of infinitely distributed with galaxies. Let's suppose instead that the galaxies ended beyond where we can see them. In other words, let's suppose that we were roughly in the center, and then after a certain point, you don't find any more galaxies, because that is what we see. We don't see galaxies beyond a certain point. My Big Bang colleagues assume that galaxies continue beyond that point, and they have reasons why they believe we can't see them, the cosmic horizon and so on. But the Big Bang assumes that. We don't know that it's true, though. That's one of the hidden assumptions. And in fact, any kind of argument that's going to argue for the Big Bang or for the millions of years relies on certain assumptions.